Okay, you ready?
I'm ready.
Trying to remember who I am. And I feel like I live my lives on the run.
Well, here we go. So let's talk about the podcast a little bit. Let's talk about
it.
Let's talk about why you're doing a podcast.
Okay, well, I came up with this idea 10 years ago, maybe more. I lost track of time. And I'm actually, now that I think about it, but glad that wasn't like, I have to do this back then, just because I think the world is in a different place. And our age group, our generation thinks differently from, 10 years ago. So I think that it all worked out really well. But yeah, this has been in my mind for years and years and years, and we're doing it. It's crazy.
Let's do it. So talk about a little bit about what Breaking Stereotypes is.
Okay, well, mainly the way I can get the point across, right, that stereotypes are needed in our day-to-day life, and also the fact that, all of us get stereotyped, and sometimes it's not to our benefit. So there's good and bad, right? So I think ultimately I want to drive the experience of it's fun, it's laughing, it's light, but also it's kind of funny, and we, there's a little shit talking, but then people get to tell their story. So the interviewee, the way the process works is the interviewee gives me some photos of them. I go out on the street. I kind of warm people up to the idea of like, you're sitting at a restaurant, you're judging people. You're like, oh, they're on a first date. Oh, he's got to have money. Oh, he's a surgeon. Oh, they have kids. Whatever story you make up in your head, which is fun most of the time. We're not. It's all in good intentions, and then we kind of break it down in the interview with the person. It's fun for them to watch what other people think. I think a lot of the time, we found that it's more motivating than detrimental, which is kind of interesting.
Yeah. You're saying when the interviewee is watching their man on the street interviews about them.
Yeah, it pumps them up. They're excited. Yeah. They leave refreshed, and they're like, "Holy shit, I'm doing life!"
Yeah.
So that's really fun to watch, and also it's fun to laugh at yourself, right? So it's kind of like a badge of honor. Like, are you willing to let all your guards down and let people judge you, and then set the record straight? Why?
Right, and you're not trying to go for like the traditional judgment stuff like that. We're all used to hearing about. You're like just kind of whatever. Tell me what kind of car you think they drive. What kind of job they might have.
Do they have kids? Are they married? What do you think their religion is? Like typical stuff.
Which is stuff we all guess. You sit around at a backyard barbecue, you do the same thing with people you don't know.
Yeah, totally.
So that's interesting.
And it's it's been fun, a fun process, and I'm excited to see where it takes us.
Yeah, and so you're doing long format interviews.
Long format interviews. Some are 2 hours, some are an hour. It kind of just goes. I found that girls, we talk a lot faster and get it done. So some of the female interviews are a little shorter, but yeah.
So how did you decide you wanted to be a podcaster? Have you always wanted to be on radio? Have you always wanted to be on obviously not always wanted to be on a podcast because they're relatively new compared to how old we are.
Yeah.
But if, was this always part of what you wanted to do, or how did you get into it?
Okay. So the story is English is my second language. So I went to school in first grade, not knowing any English. And it was hard for me. I'm also dyslexic. So I repeated third grade. All that stuff was really difficult. School was never easy for me.
Right.
And I probably back then, we just didn't have that support. Our parents didn't have that support. People didn't talk about it as freely as they do now. So I was kind of told from the get-go, you're not good at English. You're not good at, you're not a good speller. You're not a good person to talk to because of dyslexia, and you mix things up. And so I kind of let go of my initial dream of being a journalist. That was like, if you asked me, if you go back to like 3rd or 4th grade and you're like, what do you want to be? It was a journalist. And actually looking back, for a while, I was kind of bitter about it because, I thought, oh, I would never go to a good college or get to that point.
Yeah, makes sense.
And now looking back, journalism is not what it was back then or even continuing. So it's been interesting to just find a different way to be on the mic.
I love it. So how are you finding your interviewees? Like, how are you going to come up with who you actually interview? Are they all going to be just random people? Are they going to be friends? Are they going to be famous people? What kind of mix or what is your plan in terms of who you're planning to get on the mic with you?
The truth is I have no real plan. I love just going through life where it comes to me. So I kind of do this with garage sales. I know this sounds really stupid, but like, I just think, oh, I really want this like vintage piece, to go here, and the piece finds me. So I feel like same with the interviewees. You don't have to be famous. This is for regular people because everyone has a story.
Right.
For example, my second interview, Joe, older gentleman, we were just hanging out with friends in Golden, having ice cream with the kids, and I started talking to him. He told me a couple of his stories. Then we met again. We talked more about his stories. And he's just an amazing person to kind of put perspective on,
right.
What elderly think and what we're being taught and all the things in between. So that was fun. So there's no real right or wrong. I've kind of met these people over my lifetime and also just, every day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's great. So, and some of these interviews are really interesting. We've already done the first few, and they, like Max, our first interview, we screwed it up. Obviously.
Yeah, sorry, Max.
Yeah, our bad. We're learning. We're not podcasters. We're not video experts. We're not audio experts. We have no idea what we're doing.
Yeah.
So we're just trying. And so the first one was, not great. They get a little better as we go. We'll keep getting better.
Yeah. I mean, just full disclosure, you might have to see my face more than Max because we learned the process of the fact that you need like a dummy battery for your cameras or else they overheat.
Yeah. So talk more about just the overall, how did we get to this point where we're even like, okay, let's just launch something.
Yeah. Well, I think, I don't know, everyone calls it a midlife crisis, right? Mid 40s. But I think it just comes down to like, you can dissect yourself and be your worst critic forever and ever and then never move forward. So it's like, are you willing to put stuff out there that's not perfect, but you kind of get the ball rolling? I think the thing that helped me the most is when you showed me other people's first interviews on their podcasts and how
Joe Rogan's first interview is hilarious.
I think I'm already doing a slightly better on that, but
obviously
that was years ago.
Text better, but man, it made us feel better for a minute.
It did. It made me feel like, you know what? Fuck it. Let's just.
Yeah, who cares?
Let's just publish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think what I love about your idea here is that it's not so focused on a subject matter. It's like we're not conspiracy theory show, right? Or something like that, which those are fun. We love those, obviously.
I love those.
But it's more of like, they're all the different things in life are going to come out through all these different interviews because these people are from all walks of life. They have all kinds of different experiences.
Yeah.
So that part of it, I think, is going to be really fun. Talk about some of the technical process of how we even got to this place and some of the challenges we've had.
So we've had 2 studios. We had a studio in California that we tried to put together. First, we were like, we're just going to do audio. People just listen.
Right.
The more we talked to people, the more we understood that we need video. It's 2025.
Yeah.
So then.
Which complicates it by 1,000.
Oh, yeah. New board, new everything,
Yeah.
new mics, you start all over. And then, then we started going into the cameras. We probably went through several cameras. Thank God some people return. And yeah, so we got lighting. We figured all this stuff out slowly but surely. We had to set up 2 different studios. It was a process. And I would say it probably took a good year to even figure out while doing all our other life and moving and kids. And so, yeah, we're here finally.
Yeah. And we tried to hire some people
Yes.
and they were good at what they did. But I think overall we kind of found that there's like so many different moving parts and the timing is real weird. And
Yeah, I think the
editing is weird.
I think the way the podcast industry is set up is no one's being taught how to do podcasts in film school. No one's being taught to edit for podcasts. That's literally a self-taught thing. No matter what school you went to, no matter what.
Yeah, you're saying they're taught, like when they go to film school for like a big name university, for example, they're being taught like special effects and dramatic, putting together the scenes and all these different things.
And there's millions of softwares out there. So just like when, if you're in sales or POS systems or whatever, I mean, dentistry, like there's so many different softwares. So no matter how many times you work for someone, you're going to have to learn something new. And I don't think it's a normal thing for editors to sit with you for like 8 or 9 hours and doing the.
Yeah, it's good. I know. It's like it's an intimate thing because you got to sit there and you go back and forth and you're trying to, just lining up the audio to the video.
Yeah, and then
it's
some
like
people
such
think,
a nightmare.
okay, sneezing is a normal thing, so just leave it in. And then, my insecurities, I'm like, I really don't want my nose blowing in there.
Yeah, especially on video.
Yeah, so it's like it's an interesting dance where it's like some people really want that raw, and then I'm like, you don't want to see that.
No, there's enough fuck ups throughout the show.
So we try obviously to edit the least as possible, but there's coughing, there's adjusting, there's I have to go to the bathroom, like
talking off mic because you move your head, all kinds of things.
Yeah,
it's been interesting, but I feel like overall, we're chipping away at it and it's getting a little bit better each time.
I feel like it is.
Yeah. We still have no idea. Like we don't really understand all the fundamentals of videography and all this crazy shit, but we're trying, we'll figure it out. So, and then of course, there's the process of getting through the interview, like with your interviewees. So, the first interview was, kind of a crapshoot. We just sort of
we just went for it.
Yeah. You went out to a brewery to get some man on the street.
Yeah, I didn't have the right cameras. I didn't have the right mics. We didn't even know, like, do we want me in the shot? Do we not want me in the shot? We didn't know anything. But Max is such a good sport. And the fact that his look is so, like, specific and, obviously people stereotype. So that made it really fun. But he's a really cool guy.
Yeah. And then the second interview was interesting, just trying to even put it together. It was like meetings to have meetings to have meetings.
Yes.
And then finally we got it together.
Older gentleman Joe. Yeah.
We got it organized and then he went. I mean, we
went 2 hours with him.
Yeah. He really went longer. Like he could keep going.
Oh my God. I could have him back every day. But
yeah, I think at the end of it, he even mentioned like, he's like, he's like, if you want me back, I got more stories or something like that.
Of course he does.
Yeah.
He's got a whole lifetime of stories.
He's so funny.
Yeah.
He's hilarious.
But I mean, we did a little bit of a different format with him because I kind of knew all his stories. And we already kind of know the judgment of what an old person, So I think it was more about his stories and his lifetime and what he's learned and all the stereotypes he breaks from his age group of what people think at his age group.
Yes, for sure.
So yeah, I think that was really fun.
Yeah. And he's had such an interesting life just in terms of his, like, the way he was just like, you know what, fuck it. I'm going to chase this dream. He was, world champion fisherman essentially. And I mean, so
brown trout.
Yeah. But it's kind of crazy. And then episode 4.
Yes.
One of my
favorites.
Was so good.
So good.
I was laughing a lot through the entire editing process, just watching.
You
that
like
whole
forget
thing.
your editing.
Yeah. And exactly. I just got wrapped up in it and then
Yeah.
watching it. And then like I had to go back and fix some things.
Yeah.
And, but she's hilarious. And,
Yeah.
and what a crazy path she took
Yeah.
to go from like school teacher to boudoir photography is like, it's like nobody's going to make that leap,
Yeah.
And her Man on the Street was interesting. Totally different style. It was more just out like in the park or whatever.
Yeah, so I went a little different realm. Obviously with Max, we went to a brewery in like the most conservative area of Colorado.
Yeah, knowing full well that we were going to get good reactions out of them.
Yeah. And for Ashley, obviously as a female and, young single chick, people, I didn't really want the response of like dudes at a bar.
Yeah.
Because we already know what that is.
Yeah.
So I kind of wanted to see people that are in the process of choosing their life choices,
Right.
how they responded to her carefree photos of herself.
Yeah.
And so we got a little more college students, some moms, I think. Yeah. So we got some interesting people, and I think it was really motivating to her, and it was fun to watch.
Yeah. And I think we already kind of hit on, that we obviously listen to Rogan. He's all over the map in terms of like what, his guests. And
I just love that he doesn't give a fuck.
Yeah.
That's my favorite part about
That
it.
is. I mean, that's the best part about it. And the long format stuff, just really giving people a chance to talk.
Definitely.
And so he's obviously been a big influence for both of us just since he's come up. But going back even further, I mean, obviously like
Back to
Rogan,
the OG.
Yeah, Rogan's current. If we're listening to local radio here in Denver, we love Kathy J. She's hilarious and she's
super authentic.
Just fucking says whatever she wants and just shares like intimate parts of
Plus,
her life.
she's
And
just
she's
like a great mom.
Yeah, she's just so relatable and people just love her.
Mm-hmm.
And that's sort of modern, obviously. But then going back to kind of give some foundational
original
understanding to why you are so into breaking stereotypes and so into sort of taboo subjects and all that.
Yes.
I think you have, two other big influences.
Yes. I would say my two big people that I would probably say made such an impact on radio or broadcasting or whatever, just this. One is George Norrie from Coast to Coast. We listened to him for years and years and years, super late.
Greatest of all time.
Yeah. I mean, George, I'm ready to interview you. And then I wish I could have interviewed her or met her, but Sue Johansson was a huge staple in my young teens, early 20s. I just loved that she was just willing to just go out there and talk about sex.
Yeah.
And
especially at that time, it was still not like, out there like the way she was doing it.
Yeah. And she was so matter of fact about it, made people so comfortable.
Yeah. I guess they had Loveline or whatever back then too.
Yeah, but that was kind of like laughing and joking and at the same time of a little bit of shit talking.
She was more like...
No, she's super helpful. And I just loved how people like left her show when they asked a question with like, oh shit, I can do this. I can do life. And even when I did a radio broadcasting class at Saddleback College, I remember I named my station KSCX.
Oh yeah, because you were listening to her.
Yeah, I loved.
So funny.
Yeah, so that was really fun.
Yeah. So in terms of past jobs, you've done everything. You've been in banking. You've been in
dental, chiropractic,
real estate development.
Yeah, staging.
I mean everything.
Real estate. I mean, probably 17 to 18 jobs before I had my kids.
Yeah. And then obviously we've been selling real estate for a long time now.
Yes.
And that's
we had a print shop for a while.
Yeah.
So we had a small business. Our kids grew up in the shop.
Yeah. And so we're kind of, now we're getting into more investments, less selling, and taking a run at the podcast and a few other projects that, obviously we'll talk about.
We're just going
over
for
time.
it this year.
Yeah.
This is the year.
So talk about, you mention a lot so that's kind of all of your background, right? Obviously that's a little bit of, a lot more is going to come out over time about some of the influences in your life and why, you're going down this road with the podcast with Breaking Stereotypes. But you do also talk a lot in your interviews about past lives. It
Yeah.
seems to be like a very like a
Yeah.
serious interest.
It's
of
a
your-
very it's a question I ask almost everyone I meet.
right.
Like if they're open and we're jiving, like that question's gonna come out.
That's so funny. So what is your attraction to past lives? And does it have any bearing on faith or belief in God or creator or anything like that?
Well, I grew up super Catholic, down to like being an altar server. I think I was one of the first girls that was an altar server. So that was kind of fun.
Right.
But when it comes down to it, I feel like God is in me. So personally, I would say I'm closer to the idea of that I don't need an organized religion. I do love community. I do love, I ran a table at a church. I've done all those things. I've done the ministry work and helping, and all of that filled my cup along the way. But now I feel like this is so much bigger. And it's not about a denomination or a type of God, or I just feel like we're just supposed to lift each other up. And I think that some of that comes from my past lives.
Okay.
I definitely feel like we've known each other several times, maybe even been married several times. So that's kind of funny. I don't know. When you meet someone every day and you're like, I know this person.
Yeah.
Or you feel like you know them their whole lives.
Yeah. And you don't know why.
And then sometimes it's just connection. But Joe says it best. He said it a couple times, like you kind of just knew the person. But, you don't always say something like, hey. Yeah. So I don't know. It's really interesting. I don't think the way we're told about past lives is the actual past lives, similar to aliens, I would assume. It's more energetic. I don't know if it's connected with bloodlines. In my mind, there's maybe two types of past lives. One is bloodline and you continue the path. And then another one is the guiders maybe that kind of get you off the path.
Interesting.
So,
Well,
I don't know.
I
We're
have no
learning.
doubt.
We're learning about it.
Yeah, I have no doubt a lot of that's going to come out and that's going to be funny.
Yeah.
So, what are some of your other, things that have influenced you in life? I know, like, obviously we travel, we are into healthy, clean living.
Yeah.
How do all these things sort of play into like the breaking stereotypes? Because we've made a lot of changes over the years.
Yes, I would say we were early adopters to changing chemical stuff like soaps and deodorant. And the kids were like, I don't know, just born when I started using essential oils and kind of leaning towards no antibiotics and, keeping stuff just
honestly going back to before the kids were born, because the reality was we were told you couldn't have kids until you went down this entire like naturopathic. I don't even know what the fucking word is.
Homeopathic, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. How did I forget that? I kind
That
of
was like a whole
blocked out all
year
that.
of like going from processed foods and pharmaceuticals, transitioning to all natural everything.
Yeah, when I would say I was 25, we had just gotten married, and I was probably on 6 different medications. According, I had gastritis, I had thyroid, I had fibromyalgia, migraines.
Yeah.
They had me on all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
Birth control, right? So
every time you get a sniffle, antibiotics.
Yeah, and I pretty much found out I was having recurring, cysts. I mean, without getting too into all that. And basically, I had a really good OBGYN that was, I think, questioning the medical industry at that time. And basically, she told me it's now or never.
Yeah.
And you got to do everything the opposite of what I'm supposed to tell you.
Yeah.
So I literally just changed everything, got off all medications, fully detoxed, ate organic for a year. I still had the cyst, but we got pregnant, and that was a miracle. And then
they had to remove your ovary through the surgery because of the cyst, and then told you you're never going to get pregnant again.
Yeah, they basically told me it's the chances of it going to the other ovary by the time you have another child, it's pretty high. And yeah, so, but we got Nick.
Yeah. Then we got another kid. So I think that was kind of like the early stages of when we were like, there's a lot of bullshit
There's
out
some
there.
fuckery here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we're not going to fall for everything so blindly anymore. We're going to like
question shit.
Yeah. And I
Yeah.
think that's where a lot of this like foundationally comes from, like how we ended up.
Which was interesting because at the time it was so not like a normal thing.
Right.
What are we talking about? 2008, 2009?
Yeah.
And a lot of our own family members were questioning us on like, are we making the right choices? Are we spending the money correctly? Or do we even, if you're not supposed to have kids, you're not supposed to have kids. Like,
and even on the health choices, because obviously, it's hard when everyone believes in, pharmaceutical solutions, for example, and you don't, you're sort of taboo. Like you're like not in the circle anymore of like people who think rationally. No. But interestingly, like everything has gotten better for us across the board. Everything. I mean, we don't even exercise. Like, and we
do a lot of stuff.
We're active. We don't sit on the couch all day. We're active, but we're not like, we don't go to the gym. We don't punch out 3 mile day walks or anything like that.
We've kept our weight throughout these years.
Well, we're getting older and that's normal, but I think the reality is that we have noticed that we can kind of eat whatever we want. As long as
it's clean.
Yeah, it's so weird.
Yeah.
And then we try to go eat, like we love In-N-Out. It's so freaking good. And then we go eat it and we feel like shit.
I feel so horrible when I finish that.
Yeah, it sucks. It just sucks.
Yeah.
And it's like, but then we make our own burgers here and we feel great.
Totally fine.
But we're like obsessive about all the ingredients.
Yeah. So over the years, I think we slowly pulled out, toxic stuff. But the biggest change was making our own bread.
Buying better meat.
Growing most of our own vegetables, having a tower garden.
Even here in Colorado, we got the tower under the stairs.
It's in the closet.
Yeah, we got more fresh lettuce than anyone you've ever met. Yeah.
Can't eat enough salad.
Yeah. But we have obviously a bunch of stuff on the tower, but it's
so
great.
If anyone needs some lettuce, reach out.
But I think a lot of that is really kind of where some of this inspiration comes from. It's like, you know what? Like so many, every day it seems like we meet someone that like opens up our mind to like this whole new thing.
A new thing, yeah.
And it's oftentimes a thing that we already had an opinion on or like already had an idea on. Like we're like, this is the way it works. And then people would be like, that's not the way it works, dipshit. This is how it actually is. And you're like, oh my God, is that real? And then you like explore it and you actually learn this whole new way of living. And it applies to everything financially, where you live, how you live, what you eat, what you wear, everything.
Yes. And I think we decided early on because we were in real estate that we were going to enjoy the process of making money. So every house we picked, obviously always location, but it was also a lifestyle that our family got to enjoy temporarily. So it was really fun because we did the cul-de-sac life.
Yeah.
And walking to the park and, the fireworks and the tree lighting. We did that life when the kids were little.
Then we lost our minds.
And then we went to the farm because, that farm life thing was like really in and people wanting to spread out.
But we got lucky because then 5 seconds later, COVID hit.
So, yeah, the fact that our kids we were already used to working all together, always being together. We had the space to spread out. Everyone had animals. Like it really worked out for us.
Yeah.
And at the same time, the house, made money, so that helped us. So we basically got to live this farm life for 4 years.
I got to buy a tractor.
We joke, which you bought back, which we joke that we went to ranching school because at one point we had 40 something animals and 11 alpacas. So that was I would never take that back. So that was a really fun experience. And then we did the beach life.
Which was awesome.
Yeah. We did 2 years in Dana Point and we rode our bikes every day to the beach and we got to enjoy some time in Cali. The food is so awesome.
Yeah. But timing worked out well, and now we're back in Colorado.
Yeah. And now we get to live this fun life.
Yeah, this is a crazy
And I'm
house.
excited to share more and more as the time goes. But yeah, it's been something that we didn't expect, that we could correlate our making money and raising our children and experiencing life differently than your typical, like, I'm going to live in the same home for 30 years and have the same friends and have the same everything. Similar to, you know, people who travel with their kids or homeschool. I think COVID kind of made homeschooling like a normal thing for us because neither one of us did that. And, you know, everyone tells you, oh, your kids are going to be weird. My kids are weird because I'm weird. So
yeah, but I see a lot of kids that go to the regular schools and they're weird as fuck. So,
and it doesn't matter because I think the bottom line comes down to, are you comfortable in your own skin?
Yeah.
And it has nothing to do with where you went to school, who taught you, what you did.
Yeah.
It's like, are you comfortable in your own skin?
Yeah, exactly. And nowadays, like, you know, you don't have to follow the trend. I mean, there's so many like micro trends out there. Like, I can't even believe how much.
Now with fashion, like, there is seriously no wrong unless you're just not dressing to your body type. But if you can literally wear anything.
I feel like we crawled out from like under a rock, like after years of hiding, when we like our kids got into cup stacking. And we're like, what the hell? And because it was such a weird thing. And then we found out like there are millions of people doing this nationwide. We're like, that's crazy.
Cup stacking is a thing.
Yeah.
There's full conventions on it.
It's so crazy. And then you start finding there's so many of these little like groups of people that, you know, they get together and that's like their interest group. And so you don't even have to do like the traditional stuff anymore. No. That's why there's nobody at the freaking Rockies game. You know, back in the day, like everyone like just watched like the 4 sports and they went to the same, you know, boardwalk at the beach and they had the same 5 fucking things they did.
Yeah. I think our generation is branching out from our parents.
Yeah. It's probably because the Rockies suck too, but.
Oh my God, you made me snort. Yeah, I think I think our generation is doing things different, trying things different. Life is different. People are different. Kids are different.
Yeah. The next generation too. What is it? Z or whatever?
Gen Z.
They're not like, they don't drink.
Most of them. I mean, I mean, we're not huge drinkers, but when we do go out, we like to have a drink or two or whatever. Yeah. And it's interesting to go to these places. We've gone to a couple concerts where it was like younger crowd and the bar is empty. It's
so weird.
Yeah.
It's so weird.
It is.
1,000 people in the venue and nobody standing at the bar.
And the new thing is these full blown like day raves.
Yeah.
DJs with coffee and
like, there's some.
They're almost
shit.
Completely.
Now they're doing a lot of that in Denver, all the rooftop parties and all that. You know?
Yeah, even Vail Chasing Rabbits is doing.
Everything's changing, so everything's on the table. There's so much weird shit going on. There's so many things that we like, especially like at our age and older, like we have all these like preconceived like things in our head.
Yeah,
and
I think the show bottom line is there's 10 different ways to get the same outcome.
Yeah.
And we've been taught you have to do it this way. You have to go to this college. You have to buy that house. You have to get married. You have to. And all that is fucking bullshit.
It's all bullshit.
It's all bullshit.
Yeah. Yeah. Because there's so many different results from all the different choices you make along the way. It's not like one size fits all or like everyone that chooses this one path is going to have a bad time. That's not true. There's so many other factors.
I think it just comes down to limiting beliefs, right? Like
no doubt.
All the people around you believe that if you don't go to college, you'll always flip burgers.
Right.
That's insanely stupid.
Or look at Ashley. She's a perfect example. Everyone tells you never give up your
cush job
with the county, the city, the state, whatever. You give up your pension. You give up all this shit.
It's scary.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not, there's no not scariness about giving up cushness, right?
No, but she's doing what she loves. She's making a living. She lives a great life in a great spot. So she's
fulfilled.
Yeah. She's not like lacking. Like her life wasn't ruined by leaving her, government funded job. Like that's not, but you would believe if, especially at our age and older, that you can't leave that. Like you can't start over. You can't reinvent yourself. You can't. So I think like she's a great example and Max is a great example. He's like, like, is this guy homeless drumming in the park? No, dude owns a house, a nationwide business, a Mercedes. Like he's
a cool guy.
He also has a creepy van where the drums stay, but but he's got a lot of shit going on.
Where else do you put those big ass drums?
And he's doing so good. And so it's like, fuck, I would never have expected that. Like, it's not even.
No, and this is what I love.
And he's amazing at what he does. Like, it was such a fun experience.
Yeah, this is what I love about trying new things.
Yeah.
Like everyone always told me growing up, you have to pick something and be good at it. And while there is some truth to that, it's not actually how you find your passion. Like how can you, and your passion changes 9 times over your lifetime. Like what you loved when you were a kid isn't going to be the same thing you love in your 40s. So if you're not trying new things, how the fuck are you going to find it?
You're not. And that's what I think is going to be so fun to just watch how you get, through to regular people using regular people, because there's so much of like, these motivators or motivational speakers or all these like very accomplished people telling you how they became so accomplished.
Yeah.
The reality is that like some of that's true, but some of it is like you were put in that position and that's why you're in that position because you are beneficial to someone else. So like hearing from regular people how they overcame like certain challenges that we all sort of are just dealing with every day.
Yeah. But there's so many like
people.
Yeah, I definitely think you're right. But I definitely feel like there's going to be people that have some success, but their story is so interesting.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
And what you don't expect.
Yeah.
So I think that, obviously we're not going to go for the, A-listers. If anyone wants to interview and tell me their story, I'm not going to turn them down.
Yeah, of course.
But the truth is we all have a fucking story.
Yeah. And they're often more relatable, like in terms of like, a real problem and a real solution and a real motivational like moment where you're like, you know what, if that person can do it, I can do it. Their life was fucked up too.
100%.
Yeah.
My life has not been perfect.
Yeah. Everybody's. I mean, and that's kind of, I think the whole point. Right.
Yeah.
And also to loosen everyone's grip on their belief system a little bit, because in the end, I think what you're really trying to do here with people is say, hey, open your mind, open your heart for a minute and just hear another side.
Perspective. Yeah. I think cancel culture has gotten out of hand.
No doubt. And the whole team thing, like
it's become a bullying thing.
Yeah. I'm on this team. Like I'm left or I'm right, or I'm with this church, or I'm with that church, or I'm with, this university versus that university.
Well,
it's
and
like
then
a whole
also
thing.
We've been taught that once you pick a side, like you can't change your mind.
Right. Which is insane.
That is insane. Do you know how many times I've changed my, and a lot of people have stamped me indecisive because of that, but I think I'm principled. Like I realized, holy shit, this is fuckery.
Oh yeah.
I'm out.
I've been fully committed to an idea and had someone give me a different perspective. And I'm like, oh,
okay,
that makes more sense. You're right. I'm out. On 30 years of what I believe to be true, I just dump it in that second.
And I think people need to be more open to the idea that you don't have to label yourself. You don't have to stereotype yourself.
No doubt. That's, I think, the hardest thing for people.
Yeah.
Is people lock themselves in these boxes. And I think that's what, at least these first 3 interviews are so interesting. Like when Joe mentions that he chose to chase his passion and his dream over his wife. It's like, you're like, hold on a minute.
Yeah.
But there are other people that have done that and lived a life full of guilt, but both of them ended up better off for it in their scenario.
Yeah.
And so you don't have to like, there's so many.
Yeah. I'm sure everyone pays with something.
No doubt. Yeah.
I think it just.
But both things can be true. Like
Yeah.
that can be a good thing. It could also be a bad thing. Like it doesn't have to be one thing.
Right.
You know. So
Yeah, that's the thing. People are so easy to stamp good, bad, wrong, right.
yeah.
And it could be wrong and right at the same fucking time.
Right. For different reasons.
Yeah.
Yeah. And from different perspectives.
Yeah.
And so I think that's what's going to be really fun to watch. And
Like
so,
my cussing. I'm a sailor.
yeah, who cares? There
But
are words that express emotion.
Yeah,
Like
and
if you're
so-
not mature enough to hear the words, turn the dial down.
It's fine. You can listen to
Yeah.
other people. I'm
Change
good.
the station.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's it. This is not a station, it's a podcast. Shows our age. Yeah.
Oh
But
my
seriously though, I think it's gonna be fun. And I'm excited to watch who you get to interview. You got some really exciting people
Yeah, I
coming
have
up.
some good people in the pipeline. I'm excited.
And people are gonna be like, what the fuck? And so that's gonna be fun. And so congratulations on just getting it off the ground. It's been so long.
I couldn't have done it without Mike.
Oh yeah. Yeah. It's hard, but we'll figure it out.
Yeah.
Well, I'm excited to see what you do with this.
Thank you. I
All right.
appreciate all your time and effort.
Yeah, we're going to keep going on it
Yeah.
and see where it goes. And we'll
Cool.
take everyone with us.
Yes.
All right. We're out.
All right. Are you one of those people that always gets stereotyped and has a really good story to tell? DM me. And don't forget to like and subscribe.